Alright, it says I'm live. If you guys can hear me, please let me know, and we will get into it. Pop the chat out and get going. I'll let people roll in here before we actually start talking about stuff and say our hellos and everything, and we should have a pretty good time. Coke 600, always love this race. I know Charlotte's not super exciting, but I do love night races, and plus it's Memorial Day weekend, so definitely should be exciting. Awesome, you hear me? Cool, what's up, Wyatt? What's up, Dude? You can hear me, Chris? Awesome, glad to hear that. Alright, let's see. Chris says, hit that like button on your way in or ding that bell on your way out like John Silvers. Appreciate you stopping in, Chris. Yeah, the likes do really help me out. I think we had over 300 likes in the preview video, which I did ask for, so I do appreciate getting us over that milestone here. Just pulling a couple things up here. Let people run. Whoops. Sorry, I'm a chat pulled up. Anyway. What's up, Clint? Nice to have you here. What's up, Duke? What's up, Chris Austin? LFG Larson? Yeah, for sure, man. I'm going to be very heavy on Larson today. I know a lot of people are trying to probably fade and get away from that ownership, but I just don't see this scenario where Larson doesn't really work out here. What's up, Mike? I like 400 laps. I like 400 laps too. It's going to be a marathon, though, for a mile and a half track. Usually we have like 400 laps like at a track like Dover, but this is going to be a very long race. So hopefully pick the right guys so it's not an absolute marathon of just pain for you if you don't have the main dominator. Let's see. Whatever you wrote me in Discord, I think the answer was yes. I didn't exactly see the whole thing, but pretty sure the answer was yes there. What's up, FE? What's up, guys? What's up, Amanda? Says smash that like button to help our guy out. He's awesome. Appreciate it very much. See, I pretty much said everything I want to in the preview video over the weekend. So if you guys have any questions, we'll just pretty much hang out for the most part, and probably could be here for about an hour, and we'll pretty much all we'll do. T-Bone says, hey Chris, I'm new NASCAR DFS. What's up, T? I've always followed NASCAR but not DFS. What's the strategy here? So for a 400 lap race, we're gonna mainly want dominators for the most part. Like some tracks will have place differential, some will have a main focus on dominators. This is one of those tracks, cookie cutter mile and a half track, that we're gonna want dominators in our lineup. So guys like pretty much Joey Leon and above, these guys are classified as dominators, and you're gonna want at least 2 of these guys in each and every single lineup for the most part. So you're gonna want to mix and match these guys, and then just kind of fill it in for the rest. Guys that have place differential upside, like Eric Almirola, Chris Buescher, Ryan Newman, things like that. Hunter says, let's get it. Let's get it. What's up, Timothy? Mr. Chris says, John, what's up? I think you said you won the engineer a couple weeks ago or something like that, so shout out to you. I'm sure that was a good chunk of change. Hopefully you didn't have to tie with too many people. Mr. Miyagi says, what's good? What's good, Mr. Miyagi? Nice to have you here. What's up, Jay? Mike says he's very heavy on Logano. I got a decent amount of Logano as well. It's just really hard to pass up that price point, starting 16th, $8,800. I know he really hasn't been that great in the 550 horsepower package this year, but I mean, $8,800 is really hard to pass up. If he was on $10,000, yeah, I wouldn't probably have too much Logano either, but I'm loving that price tag a lot. Let's see. Chris says he's sick of that Bitcoin.com ad. I am too. Every single time I open a video up, it's that Bitcoin ad. Doing fantastic, John. Michael says, got way more Newman than I wanted, but can't get off of it. I mean, I got a lot of Newman as well. I think he's going to be very popular. He might be top 5 in ownership today. That would not surprise me. I think I'm projecting him for that. It's just $6,400 starting 25th. Usually a guy that can be around 15th to 20th place. That's not that bad given that price point, because usually Newman's a little bit more expensive, and that's a really nice starting spot for a guy that's only $6,400. Plus this range is bad. I mean, I know Chris Buescher is a great play and Ryan Newman, but outside of that, you're going to be taking shots with guys like Ryan Preece and Michael McDowell. So I definitely see Buescher and Newman picking up a ton of ownership today. Let's see. Again, if I don't answer your question, just type it again, because I'm just kind of sifting through the chat here because I don't get 20 minutes behind. Man, it says Siasin is in the building. It's a Discord joke. Happy race day, Chris, says Big Earn. You as well, man. I am really looking forward to today's race. Now, the weather's not great where I'm at right now. Not in Florida yet. I'll be there in a couple months, and it's kind of chilly today, so I'm not going to do any cookout stuff, unfortunately. So hopefully wherever you guys are, weather's nice, and you can have some nice weather for cooking out and things like that. What's up, Terry? R. Stanley says, what's up, Chris? Is Newman a cash play? Newman is a very good cash play today. He is in I don't think I'm playing, not playing cash today, but in like single entries, I am playing Newman in those lineups. Thoughts on Brad K? Brad K is one of those guys, I don't love him, but I don't hate him either. He's just kind of right in the middle. So just in my optimizer, whatever it gave me, I took it. It's around that 15 to 20% range. I'm just not huge on Brad K here. I know he's been better in the 550 this year than he has in the 750. I like the price point, starting 13th. He's a fine play. I feel like he's a very similar play to Logano, but he's also nearly $1,000 more. So that's why I'm finding myself with definitely a lot more Logano than Keselowski. But he's a fine play, but nothing that really stands out to me too much here. Chris says Hamlin or Elliott in cash. I would go Hamlin there just because you get the extra place differential upside. Plus, I'm assuming you're already using Kyle Larson, so get some more place differential to offset the guy starting the pole. Kevin says, can't wait for the interview with Almirola after he crashes out of the race. I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. Killing me every week, but I can't stop taking him. I'm right there with you, Kevin. He's cheap. He keeps starting far back. We know he's a good driver. He's in good equipment. I know this year the Stewart Haas cars have sucked, but he is in good equipment. He just keeps wrecking every single time. And then every time you hear Jeff and Clint do the whoa thing, there's a picture of Almirola's car on fire usually. Sucks, because I keep playing him too. Like, I'm with you guys. I keep playing him. Mr. Miyagi says Truex is a dog in night races for sure. I mean, I like Truex quite a bit today. Larson's going to be super high owned, which I'm super high on Larson, so don't think I'm saying this as to get off of Larson. But if you want the ownership pivot, Truex is right there, and I believe he's been in 5 out of the past 6 optimal lineups here at Charlotte. Like, the guy just absolutely crushes this track, and I know he hasn't won at a 1.5 in a while, but it's still Martin Truex Jr., and if he's going to be lower owned than he should, I like getting some Truex today. I would not be concerned with many things of Truex today. Girlfriend Juliana's here. She says, hey, everyone. Unfortunately, she didn't make the contest today because she forgot to enter, and it filled up rather quickly. But we did just get off of Warzone. We got a dub, and we did pretty well. So hopefully that's some good vibes for the race tonight. Let's see. Mike says, I don't know if I play Chasing Cash. I wouldn't play Chasing Cash. I think Chase is a fine tournament play, but I'm already playing Larson in cash. If you're not playing Larson in cash today, I think you're nuts. Like, yeah, if he sucks, it's whatever, but he should be like 90% owned. So I don't think the risk is worth fading him because I think it's very likely he could lead like half this race. And if you're already playing Larson, I would rather just get some extra play differential upside with a guy like Kyle Busch there. I love Kyle Busch today. Starting 20th, I've been saying ever since we get practice, or whenever we get practice back, I'm going to be back in on Rowdy, and Rowdy's already been good this year without practice. I think he's got the best average finish of 4.8, if I remember correctly. So yeah, now that we have practice, he was good in practice. Starting 20th, $10,200, sign me up for all the Kyle Busch today. I would take my chances. Plus, didn't he lead like 390? It was either him or Truex that led 392 of the 400, although one of them also led like 377 of the 400 before the Coke 600, so. Let's see. Something went wrong, said Kyle Busch. Oh, I like Kyle Busch. I don't know if you had a question with that. Any Haley live today? I don't have any Haley personally. If you want to play like 5%, that's fine because of pricing. What is he? Yeah, $4,800. He's really cheap, and the equipment's not as terrible as some of these other cars. But I don't really want to play any of those scrubs today. I don't even think you have to go this low. Like in the optimizer, I just X'd all those guys out, and it's building 150 rather easily for me. So I don't really think I have to go down there. Plus, some of these DOMs are cheap. Like, I can get William Byron and Blaney Logano as a secondary DOM, which doesn't break in the bank or anything. Mana says, I'm in the Floridas. I'm in Florida, and it's in the 90s. I'm very jealous. I think it was like 95 when I was there. It was wonderful. I wish it was 90s. You're welcome, Donkey. 2 live streams in the normal video. You do too much for us. I don't even have a question today. Well, just appreciate it, Donkey. No problem at all. I do enjoy doing the content for you guys, but you can just sit in, relax, and enjoy the chat, I guess, today. Let's see. MC Sub put a lineup in. Let's see what it is. Might have missed it. Charles says he won Xfinity yesterday. Awesome. Did you win first, or did you just cash? Both are good. Nick says, Dom rules and what's your cutoff? The Dom rules for me today are Logano and above, and that's it. Like, at least one of those guys. And I mean, really, I'd run 2, but in the scenario where Kyle Larson could potentially lead like 300 some laps, and then none of those guys like pick up any fast laps or laps, that'd be a very slim chance, but I guess it would be possible. So if you could go like Larson, then Bell, Kurt, Reddick, something like that. I guess that's a scenario where it could work, but I probably want at least 2. But there's a scenario where it could just be Larson, then everyone else is just a bunch of cheaper plays. Although I don't think that's really likely. Someone said no competition. Yeah, since we had, from what I saw on Twitter, I'm pretty sure, I forget if Bob confirmed that, but last I saw was not planning on having a competition caution day, which makes me like Kyle Larson even more. Where are we at? Jason says, Kess, Priest, McDowell, or Newman, Matty D, Almirola for cash games. Am I a moron for thinking of playing Almirola again? I'm with you on Almirola. I would play him in cash today. I know it's probably going to end bad, but just on paper, projection-wise, he grades out as a good a cash play for me. And I also like Newman a lot in cash games. And like Kess he's a fine play today, but I feel like he's more tournament than cash. Priest, yeah, he's okay. I just don't think you have to go there in cash today. So I like the second one a little bit more. And not even a little bit more. I actually like it a lot more. Mike says, best punt play is Alfredo. I didn't even go that low. I have some Alfredo today. I think we all know how that usually ends. But, yeah, you can play him for sure. I mean, he's got an average finish inside the top 25 at the 1.5s this year, $5,500. I realize we always like to make fun of Pasta Boy, but when you give him that price tag and that starting spot, he does become viable. Did someone say, what if Quinn Houff wins? I just don't think that's ever going to happen unless he gets into a JGR car or something. Where are we at? Just checking something really quick. Okay. Andy's in the chat, reigning contest winner and longtime Discord member. Andy is present. Join that Discord, folks. One big, happy, dysfunctional family in there. Yeah, for real. The Discord chat is awesome. Like, we hang out in there all day. Like, it's very active. Like, it could be 2 a.m. on a Tuesday, and there's just Andy posting karaoke videos, and it's fun. It's a fun time in there. Mike says, I do have Pasta Man in 14. I think that's fine. I mean, I got a decent chunk of pasta today. Tommy says Reddick. I do like Reddick today. I thought he was pretty strong in practice, pulling up the exact practice numbers. The price tag's a little tough at $8,200, and the starting spot's not a great or anything, but this should make him a pretty good tournament play. Like in practice, he was 5th in the 5 lap, 3rd in the 10 lap, and 4th in the 15 lap. So I'm expecting him to have a pretty strong run today. I don't think a top 10's out of the cards here, and I actually have a decent chunk of Reddick today. I think he's a pretty strong tournament play. Mr. Tag says, who is winning? Need a winner. If you want the boring answer, it's Kyle Larson. I mean, there's just nothing he's done this season to think that he won't be the best car here today. So outside of like a mechanical issue or speeding on pit road or something, Kyle Larson should win this race. If he doesn't win, I think a guy like Kyle Busch should be able to make some noise. I think getting practice back is a major thing for him. Plus, he was great in practice. And then, just your typical names like Hamlin, Truex should be up there as well. But outside of just catastrophic failure, Kyle Larson should win unless we do the typical thing where he finishes second, like leads 350 laps and finishes second. So I know that's happened like pretty much every single race this year, it feels like. Amanda says, my future husband Larson, and then Blaney, Busher, Chastain, Elliott, and LaJoy. Let's see. So you got Larson, Blaney as your Doms. You also have Elliott. So you're three Dom lineup. Although Blaney's kind of like a half Dom, half price play for the most part. Then you got Busher. I think that's fine. I mean, Chastain, the starting spot's scary, but he's got top 15 upside. So even if he just loses a couple spots, it's not the worst thing in the world at the price point. I wish he was a little bit cheaper though, $6,900. Like if we knew the order before DraftKings, well, when DraftKings released salaries, he would not be like $7,000 during 10th. Something went wrong, said Kyle Busch did so many laps, 46, the most of the field practice. Yeah, I mean, we know Kyle Busch was super excited about getting practice back. That is a big thing for him, so. I guess I answered your question, Donkey, when you were typing. Yeah, every single time, man, Larson's just been pretty much the best car. Then something happens where he finishes second. All right, I'm gonna scroll up a little bit. Let's see what I missed. Houff would need a rain because he has no chance of making it 600 miles. Houff would need like everyone to pit. He's the only one that didn't pit yet. He'd probably be 2 laps down by that point, but he'd need like a tornado to hit the stadium or track, not a stadium, or something. Gerald says Kurt Busch or Kyle Busch. Well, price doesn't matter. Kyle Busch easily. But that's a $2,000 price difference though. But as long as that doesn't matter, Kyle Busch. Dude says FY green flag drops at 6:23 Eastern. Yes, so you have I think until 6:21 to make lineups on DraftKings today. So we actually have quite a time, like over 2 hours right now. Joshua says Bowman or Byron if you had to pick one. It's tough. Bowman starting a few spots further back is enticing, but Byron's been so good this year, especially at the 1.5s. Like looking at his numbers, and I already talked about this in the previous video, so I don't want to bore you guys, but he's been really good. Top 10 each and every single time. He dominated Homestead. I think he's got the third best average finish, tied with Kyle Larson, only behind Truex and Kyle Busch at the 1.5s this year. So I'm definitely on Byron today. I think he's one of the better tournament plays. Plus, Byron was really good in practice. First in the 15 lap, 2 in the 10 lap, 6 in the 5 lap. I know it's kind of hard to click on Byron's name when he's starting that far up and he's that price point, but we got to start viewing him as a top-level driver because that's the way he's been performing this year. I think he's second in owner's points, right? Pretty sure he's right behind Hamlin. I have to double check that. Would you play Priest today? I would play Priest. Priest is solid, starting 28th. He's decently cheap, $6,000. Do you expect much out of him? No, but he's got top 25 upside. Dustin says, doing 3 lineups, play Larson and all. Okay, Dustin, are you comfortable with going down with the ship if he wrecks? I mean, it's possible. Like, yes, Larson is by far the best play, but if you go 100%, just know there's a chance if something happens, you might be dead. But if you're feeling a little risky, I could definitely go down with 100 Larson. Like, I want to play 100 Larson today. I would love just to press the lock button, but if something happens, I don't want to get totally screwed. Like last week with Truex, obviously the best play on paper, and his car ended up on top of Cole Custer, so things can happen. Although that was a road course with rain, we were never there before, you couldn't see. This is not going to be the same conditions here. Charlotte's a pretty easy track to maneuver. Any Logano love? I do like Logano. It's mainly just a price thing because typically we see Logano. I know you said you're new, so Logano's typically a guy that's around that $10,000 range, and now that he's $800, really cheap for some reason, I can definitely get on that because of the price point. The donkey says, "Oh, a tornado for Half to win that could do it." Maybe that might do it for Half, but even then, it might be a little bit iffy. Chris, your only insight for David Starr is just probably just want to X him out today. I just don't think it's worth it. If David Starr is optimal today, I will gladly take that L, but he's probably going to be like 0.5% owned today. I don't think it's worth it. Could the sleeper be Hamlin today? I hate to call Hamlin a sleeper because it's Denny Hamlin, but I mean I don't think he's not getting talked about as much as guys like Truex, Larson, and Busch, so he could go under the radar a little bit, but in DFS, for DFS purposes, he should still be pretty popular, above 20% owned. Dave says, I like Elliott today as a third dom. Larson, Kyle Busch, you don't see to be hot on him. Can you talk me off him and onto someone cheaper as I could use the extra money? I like Elliott today. I mean, I have nothing against him. It's just the reason I haven't talked up Elliott too much is because I'm really heavy on Larson, I'm pretty heavy on Truex, and I'm pretty heavy on Kyle Busch. So, like, I would love to be heavy on Elliott and Hamlin. It's just somewhere I got to be lower on the field, and I just can't be over the field on everybody, unfortunately. So that's the only reason why. But I like Chase Elliott. I played him in both Charlotte races last year, and he was an optimal the Coke 600 for me last year. I actually won first place with Elliott in my lineup, even though he had that pit thing. He still made his way back up in those couple laps. But I don't mind Elliott today. I mean, he was solid in practice. It's just I'm so heavy on Larson, and he's starting third. It's just I'm really banking on Larson today. But if you're not very high on Larson, I think you should probably be pretty heavy on guys like Byron and Elliott up front. Because if you're not heavy on Larson, I mean, those are the guys that can lead laps early on. Someone said, what is a David Starr? Exactly. You didn't miss too much, yes. I'm just chilling, answering some questions, having a good time with you all. You're welcome, Chris. HC says, what does your lineup look like? I got like 100 some lineups today, so I got a bunch. If you're talking about my main lineup, I went Larson and Kyle Busch in my main lineup today. Those are my two doms up top. And then it's probably pretty easy to figure out the cheaper plays that I like. I've been talking about them, so. My two main doms today are Kyle Larson and Kyle Busch. I think they offset each other well because you got Kyle Larson on the pole. Obviously, he's been the best car this season. Then Kyle Busch with practice, starting 20th to get that PD upside to kind of nullify not having any PD upside with Larson. So I think they really complement each other well today. I hope there's no big wrecks today, Federico. That would not be optimal for me probably because it never goes my way. And if there's any big wrecks today, I think we just know for sure Eric Almirola will find himself in there. So hoping for no big wrecks. I mean, it's a 1.5 mile track, so typically we don't see anything too crazy. Sarogi says, just got here. What are your cheap guys like? Cheap guys, I'm liking McDowell, Priest, Newman, Busher down there. I think those are like the best cheap guys today. Anyone to the rear? Not that I know of, Cameron. I know someone might have some unapproved adjustments. We might see that around 5 p.m. As of right now, no one, but you guys usually have to keep me updated on that because I'm not looking at Twitter. So, but yesterday inspection went good. Everyone passed, so don't have to worry about that. Something went wrong. I think he's a big Kyle Busch fan, which I'm with you today. I'm going to be a big Kyle Busch fan. I also like Kyle Busch. Not my favorite driver, but I do like Kyle. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I'm on the other side of that. Mr. Miyagi says, Chris, weren't you doing the NASCAR breakdowns for Osmo? I was, but then they said my content was too similar to the stuff they did, so there's like competition issues, so they said I had to go. It was fun, but I just have more time to focus on this now for this channel, so it's worth it anyway. Aaron says, I feel sick. I rostered Pasta Man in my lineups. Not all, but more than norm. Oh, well, the way it works out today, you can play Pasta. I mean, are his numbers great? No, but if you look at his numbers at the 1.5s this year, I mean, it could be worse, right? 24.5 average finish, 25.6 running position. I think we'd be happy with 25th place, wouldn't we? We're not ecstatic, but I think we'd be happy, considering he didn't wreck out or something. So I can get behind a little bit of Alfredo. Byron under 15% owned. I think he's going to be close to 15. I'm projecting him anywhere from like 15 to 20%, kind of right around that range. It's just I don't think people like clicking on Byron's name too much. Like, the way he's been driving this year, though, like, he should be higher owned than that probably because he's been amazing. It's just name value bias, if that's a word. Like, people don't want to click on William Byron's name over a guy like Keselowski or Blaney. They just have bigger name value. But Byron's been awesome this year. I think he's a very strong tournament play today. Pasta Boy for the win. I don't know, it might almost be even crazier than Quinn Half winning, to be honest. Ron says, does your dad listen to your podcast? Here and there. It's also his birthday today, so in the YouTube contest that I host, he might have some birthday narrative going on, so if he wins, that's probably why. But yeah, happy birthday to him. 5% Haley too much? It's okay. I mean, I probably wouldn't go past 5. Who do I like today? Lakers or Suns? Well, I like LeBron just because, you know, from Ohio, so I'm gonna go Lakers there. But let's see. Thoughts on where? I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I have 0% of any of the scrubs. Anyone below Alfredo, I have 0. So those are my thoughts on any of the scrubs, and I'm not playing them. I don't think you need to play them. The only way they work out is if like Larson, Truex, and Kyle Busch are like all in the optimal lineup together, and then you need like a random Balicki. But I'm not seeing it work out. Even then, you could still probably build a lineup with those 3 and then not even need those guys. So I'm not big on either of them. How do you feel about Bowman? I like all the Hendrick cars. Like, you can play the Hendrick cars every single week because they've obviously been the best team this year. They bring speed each and every single week. And, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if they won 1 through 4 again. I mean, they're all starting close to the front. Larson 1, Elliott 3, Byron 4. I mean, you already got 3 out of the first. You already got 3 out of 4 starting in the top 4 positions already. Then Bowman's just got to gain a couple of spots. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see 4 of those guys in the top 5 very early on the race and just kind of right up there. Oh, my dad is here. I'm here for my son and great information. Yes, happy birthday to you. I know he doesn't like his birthday too much, but definitely a nice happy birthday there. Someone thought Doot was my dad. No, Doot is my moderator. He keeps the chat clean. Chastain is starting way too high for cash. Totally agree. I don't think you can play Chastain in cash today. Like, just get down to, if you don't already have Busher, just get the Busher there. Someone asked me, I think I kind of lost it, but someone asked me about Busher today. But Busher's been really good at the 1.5 this year. I believe his average finish is like 12 or 13. Yeah, 12. Average running position of 13.7. 2 top 10s, 3 top 15s. I mean, starting 27th. Busher might be the second highest owned driver behind Larson today. It's going to be close. I think Newman's going to be up there as well. But yeah, Busher's going to be very chalky today. Oh, when Amanda asked that lineup, I didn't realize it was for cash. I kind of missed that part. So I said I liked it, but for cash purposes, yeah, I wouldn't go Chastain. I'm sorry I missed that little parenthesis there. Let's see. Kyle says Busher, Byron, Larson, Kyle, Busch, McDowell, Newman, GPP. So our Doms, we got Larson, Busch, and Byron. Love that. Love all three of those guys. Love Newman, love Busher, and I like McDowell. I think that's a really good lineup, Kyle. I probably have that somewhere in my lineups, I'm sure. So Blaney, Logano, or Bell and Cash. I would go for Cash. I think Logano will be a little bit higher owned than Blaney. So I'll side with him because he's starting a little bit further back. But in tournaments, I'd side with Blaney, and Cash, I'll side with Logano there. Give Quinn Half, Joe Gibbs, Hendrick, or Penske car. That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting for sure. T-Bone says, Kyle, that's my current cash lineup. I like that lineup a lot that he sent. I definitely don't mind that at all. Any love for Eric Jones? Not today. I mean, I like Eric Jones. He was one of my favorite drivers when he was driving for Joe Gibbs. It's just in the 43 car, it's tough. I still like him, obviously, but for DFS purposes, not really today. It's just he's been like a 20th to 25th place guy in this car at the 1.5s this year. I don't think we're gonna have much upside. Like I don't like him or Bubba today. I think that's a really bad price range down there in the bottom 7K range. But MDB, Eric Almirola, I like those guys quite a bit. Austin Dillon, you can play in tournaments. What's the difference between cash and tournaments? Oh, it's a good question for anybody new to NASCAR. So difference between cash, or I guess they're just DraftKings in general. So cash games, you want to pick really safe plays for the most part. Like you want to get drivers that get a lot of plays, a bunch of upside. So for example, like we'll use Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon here. Eric Almirola, he has sucked this year, but starting 31st, he's got a decent chance of gaining like 10 to 15 spots. That makes him relatively safe for cash games, because in cash games, we're not trying to win first place. We just need to be half the field here, because you win the same amount of money finishing in 200th than you do in first. So we'll take Almirola there because he's a safe foreplay. But in tournaments, obviously, the higher up you finish, the more lopsided the prizes are going to be. So we want Austin Dillon, a guy that has legit like top 8 upside here that has a pretty high ceiling. So you might want to side with Austin Dillon in tournaments, if that makes any sense. Hopefully it does. You were all too nice. Everyone's giving really nice birthday wishes to my dad. He deserves it. So do appreciate that. Oh, there's a lot of questions here. That's fine. No love for Chase. I like Chase, but if you missed it earlier, I'm just really heavy on Kyle Busch and Truex today. That I'm just overall lower on Elliott and Hamlin. Like I like those guys. I think they're fine. I'd like to have more, but it's just not possible if I'm so heavy on guys like Truex and Larson and Busch today. Do we trust Almirola this week? I never trust the guy, but I am playing him. I don't trust it though, but I will play him. I mean, at some point he's got to stop wrecking, right? It's been terrible this year. I think his average finish is almost 30th place. It's been bad. Very, very bad. So Newman is the play. I like Newman a lot. Starting 25th, $6,400. Those Roush cars have actually been pretty solid this year. It's mainly a price thing here. Like you'd think Ryan Newman would be close to like 7K, like above Eric Jones or above Wallace, but that's just not the case today. I think you got to buy low at that price point. Usually like a 15th place guy. Unfortunately, Christian, it filled pretty early today. Like my girlfriend even missed joining today. It filled pretty early, so I guess people are kind of excited about the Coke 600 today, which is good. So yeah, unfortunately it is filled, guys. I probably should have made it like 150 entrants this weekend, and we probably could have filled it. You're welcome, yes. You're welcome. I was hoping that would be helpful. I think SHR just building cheap cars because of last season of Gen 6. That's why Harvick and Almirola don't have wins and sucking. I mean, yeah, they've been so far behind this year. Like, obviously, Kevin Harvick was the guy last season every single week. Even Eric Almirola had that, like, month and a half stretch where he just kept getting top 5 finishes, but they've definitely fell off this year. Loving Bowman, but can't seem to get him in any of my lineups. If I wasn't using an optimizer, I'd really have a hard time handpicking Bowman in my lineup. So I totally understand what you're talking about, because why click Bowman when I can click Blaney for $700 left or $400 left, Logano for $600 less? Like I totally understand that. But I do have a decent amount of Bowman exposure. I just also saw these in the Ally Patriotics game. I don't think I saw that during qualifying or practice, so I'm excited to see that. Aaron says smash the like button. I agree. Really helps me out. The more you guys like it, I think it pushes it out to more people. I don't really understand how YouTube works too much, but I know it definitely helps a lot. And we got to over 300 on the preview video, so thank you. Reddick, sneaky winner. I don't think Reddick's going to win today, but I would say he's a sneaky top 5 guy. I just have a hard time seeing Reddick win, but like outright win. But he could definitely have a really strong performance today. And I don't think he's going to be super high owned in DraftKings as well because of the price point. So, yeah, I'm liking Reddick. I'd much rather play Reddick over Custer. I mean, he's starting, I know, almost 10 spots further up, but I'd much rather play Reddick. Does my DK advice correlate over to FanDuel picks? Is it the same? Well, I don't play FanDuel. I never look at the pricing. I mean, obviously it's not too far off, so it should correlate well. Like on FanDuel, I'd still like the same drivers. It's just if someone was a little bit cheaper on one side or the other, it would sway my thinking. But the guys I like, I'd still like over on FanDuel, but it's not exactly the same. Michael said Quinn Half will have a merch hauler at the track next year if y'all keep it up. Yeah, we had a little bit of a Quinn Half roasting session a little bit ago, which I guess that wasn't the plan. What's up, Jordan? I have a question. Reddick and Blaney or Kurt and Byron? That's a really good question. Jeez. I'm not a huge fan of Kurt today. I like Blaney a lot. I like Reddick. I'll go the first one there. It is close, but I'll go with the first one. Kilo says you're running mostly a 3-dom build. Any 4? I think a lot of mine have 2 plus like a Blaney, Logano, Byron. So like I want to call it like a 2.5 dom build if that makes any sense. Because even if those guys like Blaney, Logano don't dom, if they can get top 5 finishes, it'll work out. But I think for the most part they're like 2.5 dom builds, and I do have some 3s in there. Not sure if I have any 4s. I had to overlook it, but I might have a few in there with guys like Logano, Blaney, Byron, Bowman, because that can work out where you do have 4, but for the most part it should be probably 2. Kyle says hit the like button for great content and Chris's dad birthday. Yeah, for sure. 1 like equals 1 birthday wish. Peter says Larson and Hamlin or Truex and Elliott. Ooh, I love Larson today so much. I'm gonna have to side with Larson there. Sneaky pick for garbage guys. So what's our price range for garbage guys? Like 6K and below here. Sneaky pick, I guess, could be Corey LaJoie. I mean, looking at his numbers at Charlotte. Yeah, last year he finished 25th and 18th, and then the year before that 22nd, and the year before that 18th. He's actually been okay at Charlotte. It's just the 7 car's been so bad this year. I have a hard time trusting it, but he should be the lowest owned out of all this bunch, and I think he's going to be lower owned than Anthony Alfredo, so I guess Corey LaJoie could be the sneaky guy there, but just don't get your hopes up for it. Lately, Eric has been garbage. Yeah, Eric's been so bad. Like, I know it's probably not going to... It's something bad's going to happen to Eric, because if the guy didn't have bad luck, he wouldn't have any, but, jeez. At some point, it'll fix. Where are we at? Skylar says fade Larson. I'm not personally. I think you need to take a stance on Larson. You need to be way under the weight in the field because the guy's going to be super chalky. Like, he should push 50% today in, like, the main tournament. I would not be surprised if we see him over 50. So, you either need to be way underweight on that and be heavier on guys like Elliott, Hamlin, Truex, or you need to be way overweight. And my plan is to try to get decently amount overweight on Larson today. Kevin says Quinn Half already has a hauler to drag his crap car home every week. Hope Quinn's not watching this. Fave 3 GPP plays. I'll give you 2. A couple guys I like quite a bit today. William Byron, $9,200, starting 4th. I love what he did in practice. He's been so good at the 1.5s this year. I think people aren't going to... He's going to be low, being priced right beside Blaney and Logano today. Those guys are going to be very chalky because I think it speaks for themselves, their price points and where they're starting. So Byron's going to be a guy I don't think a lot of people are going to click on because he's just in that price range where everyone's going to be heavy on these 10K guys. People are going to play Keselowski. People are going to play Blaney and Logano. So I'm hoping Byron gets a little bit overlooked, but he should be running top 5 for the majority of the day, and he could be kind of getting sneaky fast laps for the most part. It wouldn't surprise me if he got up front at some point, but he'd probably have to overtake his teammate Larson, which is definitely going to be a tough task, but I do like Byron a lot today. Also, I think Tyler Reddick's a pretty strong tournament play as well, just because of what he showed in practice. Quinn Half or Timmy Hill? Well, Timmy Hill's not racing today. Do you just mean in general? I don't even know. I don't even know. It's tough because they're just both... I mean, Timmy Hill is driving by far the worst car out there when he's running. That is a good idea, Griffin. That would be a good idea. Can't argue with that. Do you play 20 max, and how many drivers do you cut if you do? I don't play 20 max. I play the 150 max tournaments. So what I usually say for like going from 150 max to 20 max is if I'm in 150 max, I can hedge my bets a little bit more. So like let's just say, for example, in 150 max, I could play like 10% Austin Dillon because I just have the room for it. But if I'm playing 20 max, I'm probably not getting to Austin Dillon, so I'm going to cut off like the fat. We'll trim off the fat of my lineups, and I'll just be heavier on the guys I like more, if that makes any sense. So we're basically just trimming the fat off once we get the 20 max. And how many drivers do you cut if you do? Which I know it's going to change every single week. Like there's some weeks you can play so many drivers, but like I think right now I'd probably get over 30 in my main player pool. I mean, you could probably get that into the 20s though for 20 max. Penske stacked with the Candy Man, Ice Cream Man, and the Pasta Man. So the Candy Man, if none of you guys know, that would be Rowdy. If you don't know Rowdy, that's Kyle Busch. Ice Cream Man's Ryan Newman. I call him Vanilla Ice Cream because he's super boring, but you're never upset with getting vanilla. Like if someone gives you vanilla ice cream, you're not going to be upset about it. You're going to eat it. It's fine. If it's hot out, it's 90 degrees, you get vanilla ice cream, you're okay with it, but you're not super excited. You probably want some sprinkles. You probably want some Blue Moon, mint chocolate chips, something more exciting. But starting 24th or 25th, $6,400, I'll take the vanilla ice cream play there. And then Pasta Man, you guys, that's Alfredo. Di Benedetto, I like MDB today. He's actually a guy that I almost wrote up as a tournament play today. I think the price point's really nice. Starting 22nd, we know he's got top 15 upside. I think he's fine. Pretty much a Penske car. And he's just kind of like a pivot off of Almirola because you don't want to play 100% Almirola today. So another thing is that 7K range is terrible outside of MDB and Almirola. So I'm gonna have a lot of my ownership in that range is directly to those two guys because I don't play Eric, I don't play Bubba. Ricky starting second. Like I wanted to play Ricky before we knew qualifying. Now I don't. Austin Dillon's a tough play there. I'll still have a little bit, but I think you guys get the idea. Again, guys, if I didn't answer your question, like if it's really far up, you can type it again. I'm just kind of skipping through the chat a little bit because a lot of questions. Where are we at? Lincoln says he's late to the stream. Can you play Larson and Elliott in the same lineup since they were starting first and third, still learning NASCAR DFS? Yes, you can. Now, obviously, it's a little bit riskier doing that, but let's say Larson comes out, leads 250, Elliott comes out, leads 100, probably going to be optimal as long as they don't wreck out. So, yeah, that's perfectly fine. There's some tracks where you definitely want place differential. Like, if we're at a Talladega or Daytona, yeah, we want all those guys starting in the back. That'd be a terrible strategy playing Larson and Elliott, but today that's something you can certainly do, and I definitely have a decent amount of both those guys in the same lineup today. All right, if my app's right, we just got over 100 likes, so I do appreciate that, guys. Thank you very much. Chris says, I want to play Suarez again, but he hasn't made the cut so far. It's just hard playing Suarez starting 9th. I mean, Suarez has been a guy I've been playing pretty much every single week, and actually, if you guys look at the screen really quick, 2020 optimal lineups, the most optimal driver, I'll let you guys guess, but, so just in the chat right now, well, I guess I kind of gave it away because I was talking about Suarez, so that'd be stupid, but you guys get to, but looking at the 2020 optimal lineups here, Daniel Suarez has been the most optimal driver right behind Denny Hamlin and Martin Truex. Unfortunately, probably won't be the case today because Suarez usually starts in the 20s. Now he's starting in the top 10. Can he have a good run? Yes, but it's going to be hard to see him be optimal today. Michael says, Bell thoughts? I like Bell today a little bit. I mean, his numbers at the 1.5s have been great this year. I'd much rather play Blaney and Logano, but I have a little bit of Bell. Just try to get differentiation down there. But the AK range is pretty good. I mean, Logano, Bell, Kurt Busch, Reddick, I think all those guys are playable. Cole Custer, probably my least favorite out of that group, but he just offer the most place differential upside. Timothy says, happy birthday, Dad Pinnell. You and I are increasing the age of the chat. Matt says, Hamlin, Newman, or Logano, Reddick for cash? I'll go the first one there. Hamlin and Newman. Kevin says, take your money to the toilet and flush it if you're deciding between Half and Timmy Hill, if Hill was even in the race. I totally agree. Probably got to restart somewhere if those are the two you're ever thinking about. Oh, there was a question I wanted to answer, but then my chat went down. Tommy says, haven't heard anyone mention Custer. Is he a low-owned option? He is a low-owned option. I think he's probably going to... He's gonna be a little bit lower than 20%, probably lower than 15%. starting 23rd. Everyone's going to be higher than those other guys in the 8K range. Yeah, it'd definitely be a lower option. Lower owned option, I should say. Where are we at? Chris says I play him every week, but I haven't yet. But this weekend I haven't yet. Oh, you're talking about Daniel Suarez? Yeah. I'm playing Daniel pretty much every single week. Bill says, do you play 100% driver today, or what's your usual max? I want to play 100% Larson. I'm not going to. I never lock a driver because obviously if they just lose a tire somehow, I don't want to be dead in the water the entire day. Then I'll just be upset for 4 hours. Highest I would go today, it would be Larson. I think you could probably get up to 70%. You could push that more if you're just really risk adverse. But I don't mind having a lot of Larson today. It's just, if you're fading Larson, you're betting on mechanical failures or just his wheel falling off somehow. And you're hoping for some bad luck for Larson because everything he's shown, practice, his numbers this season, how fast his car been. I mean, he should dominate this race. He should. Again, crazy things can happen, but he should. Someone said RIP spread. What happened to spread? I'm trying to look through the chat here. I don't know if he said anything. I must have missed it. LaJoy or Pasta Man? Oh gosh. I guess I'll say Alfredo there, but that's a gross question right there. I'll go Alfredo though. Any McDowell love? I like McDowell. McDowell's actually one of my higher owned cheaper plays today. I think he's got some top 20 upside. He's actually been pretty good at the 1.5s this year, and he's really cheap. So the thing with McDowell is he's been starting so far up, it's been hard to play him, but 24 is a good starting spot. So Eric Jones today, Travis asked. I don't really like Eric today. If he was in the 20 car, sure, but in the 43 car, I just having a hard time clicking on that for sure. Sorry, I'm just looking through things here. Jason, your question would be the first one, assuming you mean Ryan Newman there. Priest or Pasta? I'd rather play Priest there. Priest, I definitely feel a lot safer with Priest than I do Alfredo. Hunter says Larson is awful at Charlotte. He got beat by Joey Gase last time. Fair warning, Hunter said in the Discord that he's going to try to get in here and troll to get Larson's ownership lower, so just called him out a little bit there. Mike says, oh my god, I was looking at lineups and I had Eric and Ricky. I'm asking for trouble. Oh man. Yeah, those two got into the wreck. I think was that Dover where it was Ricky that wrecked Marola? Pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, you're definitely asking for trouble there. Bowman and Newman or Dylan and Custer / Matty D. I would rather go the first option there for sure. Favorite cash plays besides Larson and Kyle Busch? Just some cheaper guys. Ryan Newman and Chris Buescher. Probably guys want to round them out with your lineup. Mad Dog says I'm playing Buescher in most of my lineups. As am I. It's just really hard to pass up Buescher today. Only $6,700 starting 27th. He should be top 3 in ownership today. Maybe top 2. I think Kyle Busch. It's either going to be Kyle Busch or Chris Buescher. Probably is the second highest owned driver. And Ryan Newman should be pretty close as well. Hendrick gives Larson the best car, but bad luck happens. Yeah. I mean, he definitely has the best car each and every single week. Pretty much. I know there's been a couple races, but... Alright, I'm going to scroll up a little bit. Spread says, so got 0% Chase. It's scary. I mean, Chase isn't one of my favorite plays today, but that is definitely scary. I still have at least some Chase, Elliott, even though I'm not super high on him today just because I'm so heavy on Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson, but that is definitely going to be a little bit scary. Nicholas says, I think Suarez is going to be a sneaky value pick. If he can hold like a top 15, that's not terrible. Is he going to lose spots today? More than likely. I say there's like a 90% chance he loses some spots today, but even if Suarez finishes... Let's look at the heat map here. So if Suarez finishes like 13th, I mean, I think we could realistically see Suarez finish around 13th. That would be, what, 26 points. So if you think you can get a top 12, it's 28, 30. So if you think he can be in that range, that's not terrible at his price point. Chris Buescher, if Buescher gets like a top 15 today, that's like 40 points though. So just things to keep in mind. David says, who was your long shot to crack the top 10? Does Buescher count as a long shot? If he counts as a long shot, I'll take Buescher. Top 10. Maybe a guy like Tyler Reddick's not really a long shot. Yeah, I think Chris Buescher's a good long shot. He's going to be popular today, but I'm not sure people are really expecting a top 10 out of him. Someone said Tyler Reddick in cash. It's a fringe cash play. I wouldn't go there personally. I feel better with Almirola in cash games, but I think you can play Reddick in tournaments a lot. But he's a fringe cash play. If you have 8,200 left, sure. But I'd rather get to Almirola just in cash games. Edwin says Briscoe or pre-single entry GBP last spot. I think Briscoe's got a little bit more upside there. Looking for a little bit more upside. Can you play all Hendricks in a GPP? I mean, you can. I'd have to look at what the price would be left. I could actually probably check that. Here, I'll get my phone pulled up and I'll try to put them all in the same lineup and we'll see how much money that gives us. The almighty heat map. Yes, the heat map is very useful. Very useful. Blaney or Logano. If it's tournaments, I like Blaney. If it's cash games, I'll side with Logano, but it is very close. Hamlin or Truex. I like Truex a little bit more. He's just so darn good at Charlotte. I know he hasn't exactly been the best driver this year at the 1.5s, but he's been good. I mean, he's getting good finishes. But I do like Truex a lot today, and I think he's a really good pivot right off of Kyle Larson today. Obviously, I love Kyle Larson, but if you're looking for an ownership pivot, Martin Truex Jr. offers you a little bit more place differential upside, and he could obviously be a dominator as well, as he typically does almost every single race here at Charlotte. Of course, the DraftKings app isn't working. I'm trying to... I don't know, it's just not working. I'm trying to get the Hendrick stack going here. Okay, yeah, create new lineup. So if we're going to put in all the Hendrick cars, so we got Larson, Elliott, Bowman. Not looking good. So you'd have $4,800 left per driver, so you'd have to use Justin Haley and Cody Ware, or if you like Quinn Houff better. I mean, it's doable, but I don't really want to do that. So you could do 3 out of the 4, because if you took Bowman out and you put in a guy like, let's say Chris Buescher, you'd have $6,100 left. And then you could probably mess around with Newman, then $5,900, and then you could go Michael McDowell. So you'd have Larson, Elliott, Buescher, Byron, Ryan, Newman, McDowell. That looks a lot better. So you can definitely do a 3 out of 4 Hendrick stack, but if you're doing all 4, I don't think it's going to be possible. Oh, I didn't even have to do that. You guys already let me know in the chat. It gives you $4,800 left per driver. Mad Dog says I can't pick Almirola in cash. Bad feeling about him today. I have a bad feeling about him every day. I'm still doing it, though. I'm still doing it. It probably won't end well. I think we know how that goes. Mark says what makes it hard about picking drivers for this race in DK is the length. I think it eliminates many of the younger drivers. That depends. I mean, if you mean like the scrub drivers, sure. But if we're talking like young drivers like Byron, Blaney, Elliott, I don't have concerns about them. But those bad equipment cars are definitely going to be a bit struggling there. Other sites are big on McDowell. You too. I like McDowell. He's one of my higher owned cheap drivers. Just out of necessity, really. I mean, it's not like I love McDowell today, but starting 24th, like he's going to grade out well compared to these other guys. So, yeah, I like McDowell. So earlier, someone asked me about David Starr, and all I said was just X him out today. I'd feel pretty good about doing that. I don't think you need to play David Starr. Like, yeah, he's starting last. If you want to play him in a couple lineups, okay. But if you're playing like 1 to 3 lineups or just even 20 lineups today, I don't even think you should be even thinking about David Starr today. Something went wrong, says he's starting to get nervous. What you getting nervous about? Alright, just going up a little bit here. Chris Austin says, can we get Andy on for a guest appearance for some live karaoke? It'd be fun. He might get donations going for his beautiful singing voice. Nervous for the race. Yeah, I get a little bit nervous before the race starts as well. Hunter says, how do I make a 6-driver pick? I just want 6 drivers. Good grief. Where are we at? Ryan says, for single entry on DK... Oh, I already answered that. No, I didn't. Never mind. Would you do Elliott, Larson, Bowman, Buescher, Bowman? That's 2 Bowmans. And LaJoy or Larson, Elliott, Reddick, Matt D, Buescher, and McDowell. So you got 2 Bowmans there, so I'm not sure who you mean. You could mean Newman. You might mean Newman there. But I'm not really sure because we can't play 2 Bowman, so I guess I'd have to pick the second one because as of right now, I think something messed up on the first part there. Haley Busher or Pasta Man Priest? Ooh. I guess the second one. I want to play Busher, but I don't want to do Haley today. Let's see. FV says, see, Austin's big on David Starr. I'm sure he is. You got the ribs going, Pearson? Sounds pretty good. I'm a little bit jealous. It's just so cold here, we can't do anything today. I'd like to grill something. Stan says, happy birthday to your dad. Yeah, for sure. Big shout out. There we go, Ryan. That looks better. Larson, Elliott, Bowman, Busher, Newman, LaJoy, or Larson. Yeah, I'm going to go with the first one then there. Looks a little bit better to me. What's up, Pedro? Busher, Rowdy, Matt D, Larson, McDowell, Reddick. So the 2 dumbs, we got Larson and Bush. Love that today. We got Reddick as a mid-range guy. MDB. I like those because you get the chalky doms, but then you have like the pivots in the mid-range. I think that's pretty good. And then Busher, and then McDowell. Yeah, I think that's really good, Pedro. Should be good. Just hoping for no wrecks. Who are the cars most likely not to make it 600 miles without engine issues? I mean, just all these guys down low. I mean, Rick Ware cars for the most part. David Starr, Quinn out. I mean, these guys. I mean, these guys should be able to finish, but there's probably 1 or 2 that just happen to. Obviously, something will happen, but it's not like they're gonna start in park or anything. Oh, you're good, Ryan. You're good. How much Newman and Busher do you have today, Chris? I got over 35%. I got a good chunk of those guys. They make up the majority of my lineups. Hopefully they don't wreck. Thoughts on Bell? I think Bell's a okay play today. I'd much rather play Blaney and Logano. But, you know, Bell in the 20 cars definitely has a lot of upside. He just hasn't been... He's been okay at the 1.5. It's nothing like... It's not terrible. It's not great either. Like, so far this season, running position of 14.9. The average finish is worse than that, but he's been running better than his average finish. He's got a top 10. 2 top 20s. It's okay. Nothing I'm like overly excited about, but I will be playing some Bell today. How was Newman in practice? Let's take a look. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head. So Ryan Newman was 10th in the 5 lap and 14th in the 10 lap. And we didn't have any other consecutive laps from him. So again, 14th, that's kind of in his range of that 15th place range where he's vanilla ice cream. So I don't know if that helped you or not. Kevin says this is my first week in Chris's contest. It will be first or last. Looking forward to it, Kevin. What's your screen name? Just so I can remember when I'm looking at it. I forget. I know you commented it, but I forget. Chris Austin says, thanks for all you do. Heading back home to Discord and work on laps. All right. Awesome, man. Sounds good. Thanks for stopping by. Peter says wrecks. Yeah, man. Wrecks have been tough this year. I feel like every time there's a wreck, it just directly hurts me. It's like, can't some other guys' cars wreck? Sorry, I was just checking the stream. David says, ever say to yourself, wow, how did I miss that guy? Sometimes. I know there's sometimes where, I think there was last year at Homestead, I was like, I full faded Hamlin and pretty much full faded Elliott, and those were the 2 main doms, which sucked. I had a lot of Ryan Blaney, which he dominated too, but I completely missed Hamlin and Elliott. I was super high on Truex, Harvick, and Logano, and I think Harvick and Logano like wrecked on pit road, so they were done. I mean, they weren't done, but they just couldn't dominate in their cars anymore. Than Truex just sucked for some reason, so that was a bad day. Okay, Daddy Ham. All right, I will keep an eye on that. Gary says, what's your take on Harvick and Priest? Priest, I do like today just because of where he's starting in the price point. There's not many great plays down low this week. I mean, there's some decent ones, but they're not like a ton. So I'll just have Priest out of necessity. As for Kevin Harvick, I just don't. He just hasn't shown domination speed this year, and I think he'll run well. He's got 2 top 5s this year and 4 races at the 1.5s, but he just has not shown that speed where he could overtake a guy like Larson or Elliott or anybody. Like he'd probably run okay. It's just I don't think he's gonna dominate, which we need him to do at $10,000. Brett says, how about a pivot off Newman to Priest? You could. I'd trust Ryan Newman way more to get a better finish, but you could. I'd rather pivot to like probably Briscoe over Priest. Just feel like there's more top 20 upside there. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't hate it. I just think Newman should be in the 7K range. So him being $6,400 is a little bit kind of taking me off guard a little bit. Pearson says, what do you think about Truex, Custer, McDowell, Reddick, Blaney, and Almirola? So the Doms, we got Truex and Blaney. Mid-range, we got Reddick, Almirola, Custer. But yeah, it's fine. I don't mind that. Just trying to think here, because for some reason I kept thinking you only had one Dom. But yeah, that's fine. Something went wrong, says, I hope nothing goes wrong. Well, your name's not really giving me much confidence here. Jay says, can the showman Bowman do the same thing in Charlotte like he did in Dover? Both 48 good tracks. I wouldn't mind that. I have a decent chunk of Bowman today. And the Hunter cars have just been so good this year. And we know he was good at Charlotte last year. Did lead some laps. So I think he should be fine at $9,400. I mean, guys like Bowman and Byron, they should honestly probably be in that 10K range. They should be swapped with guys like Harvick, because Harvick just really has... His price is just because of name value. Like, Bowman and Byron have been way better than Harvick this year. Drew says, give me all the stenouts, fast in practice, fast in qualifying, and 2 top 5s in the last 3 races here. Also place bets. I can't say I'm with you, but I understand that he has a good history here. Looking at his numbers in practice, I want to see the exact numbers here. So, yeah, he was second in the 5-lap, fourth in the 10-lap. I think he falls outside the top 10 personally, but it's possible. It's possible. I just don't think he's a very good DFS play. I mean, betting-wise, yeah, he probably got some potential for the top 5, top 10. You think this is where Harvick breaks out and gets the win? I hope not. Jeez, I really hope not. He just hasn't shown it. I mean, yeah, he was second in the 20 lap, but 5 cars are in the 20 lap run in practice. He just hasn't been Harvick this year. Stewart Haas cars are definitely the worst team out of the big squads right now. What other tracks can compare to Charlotte? The lower to mid tire wear 1.5s for the most part. Las Vegas, Texas. Those are probably your best comparisons. You can also look at Kansas. But you could really just throw in every 1.5 for the most part. But the higher tire wear ones are not going to be as comparable. Thoughts on Briscoe or Chastain to pivot off cheap chalk? Yeah, I did that in some lineups. More so Briscoe than Chastain, just because Chastain's starting so far up. But yeah, I definitely like both those guys as pivots. Ken says, gotta play Almirola. Yeah, I know. I mean, you have to, right? I understand if you want to go a little bit lower on him, but I think you at least have to play him some. I'm just ready to get hurt again by Almirola. It's been pretty much every single week this season. Tooch says, got 1 Stenhouse out of 40 lineups. Is that too much? No, it's fine. I mean, I don't really want a full fade Stenhouse, although I'm pretty close to it today for DFS purposes. Chris says, Harvick is comparable to Jimmy Johnson last season. You think he'll win, but he never does. Yeah, I mean, until Harvick shows us, yes, I'd like to be ahead of the curve, but I don't see how he's going to dominate. Like, can you really picture Harvick passing guys like Truex, Elliott, Hamlin, Larson today? I just don't see it happening. Like, he's not even been close in speed to Byron and Bowman. He's gonna have to get past Byron early. I just don't see it happening. My dad says, best of luck, everyone. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. Great job. Appreciate it, Dad. Oh, we've been on here an hour already. Yeah, that went quick. I feel like it's been 20 minutes. Goodness, we went really fast. Yeah, I'll probably get done here pretty soon. Harvick's getting old, but he's still fast with the SHR's cheap car. I mean, he's been okay. I mean, looking at the 1.5s, like, he's okay this year, but from Kevin Harvick, you need, like, brilliance, which he just hasn't really shown. I mean, the average finishes at the top 10, that's fine. He's got 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s, but the glaring issue here for a guy that's $10,000 is he has 0 laps led and, like, 4.3 fast laps per race. Like, we need like, Kyle Larson kind of numbers. He's just been dominating at the 1.5s. I don't see why that's going to change here, so... Will Harvick run well? Probably. Is he going to dominate? Very unlikely, which you need at that price point. Pasta Man or LaJoy? Pasta, but it's both kind of gross. Let's see. I'm surprised we've been on here for an hour. It's kind of wild. Matt says, when you optimize for 210 lineups, do you completely remove those last 8 or so racers? You can put it to like 1% max on those drivers, but for the most part, I'm fine with just Xing them out. That's what I did for my 150 today. I just don't see them being optimal for a 600-mile race, so I'm fine with it. I mean, yeah, could something happen where Bilicki slips through the cracks and makes the optimal? Sure, but he might not even be in like the optimal lineup, like on DraftKings, like the true optimal maybe, but he'd be solo owned. It'd be kind of rare if someone has that exact lineup. Yeah, that was a fast hour. I agree, Rick. It's crazy. I'll see you in Discord. Yeah, I'll hop off here and we'll be in Discord until the race starts and throughout the race and then tonight as well. Can I see Austin Dillon with the top 5 finish? It's possible. He's good at 1.5s, but I think it's unlikely. I'd say a top 10 is more likely on top 5. Any love for my boy Kurt getting a top 5, assuming his car doesn't go up in flames for no good reason? Yeah. It's positive. Kurt's a top 10 guy. I think he's going to finish like 7th to 10th place today. I don't think he's going to crack the top 5, but he should have a good run. It's just hard to play him in DFS this week because it's starting 11th, $8,400. So I'd rather play Reddick. All right, if you guys have any final questions, I'll probably get out of here because we've been an hour, and I just need to touch up on my lineups and get some food stuff going. All right, Pugsley says final lineup is Elliott, Kyle Busch, Byron, Matty D, Busher, and McDowell. Do I drop to Newman to play Bowman instead? Do you mean like Bowman over Byron? I think that's fine how you have it. Like, yeah, I like Newman, but I think it's fine. You're welcome, guys. Chris says, do I pay for that? Yeah, it's like it's on my site. It gets into the chat room. If you did want to sign up, I can refund you because you get charged on the 1st as well, because that's how Patreon works. Charges you when you signs up and then charges you on the 1st of the month. So if you do sign up, I can always refund you for that because, I mean, it's only 2 days. So, but yeah, that's in the description of my video. You can get on there, get all those projections, optimizer, all that fun stuff. So if you're ever interested, you can always check that and get to the chat room. It's really fun in the chat room. So you're welcome, Jay. Mr. Pinnell raised a fine son for sure. For sure. Appreciate all the kind comments today, Chris. I'm probably going to get out of here. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. If you haven't checked the pre-video out, you have about an hour. It's only like 30-some minutes, so you are good for that. But yeah, I'll get out of here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Wish you guys the best of luck.